fresh off 100 yards a week ago, as it'll be the Dallas Cowboys taking on the Seattle Seahawks. With that, we're off to Seattle for the 32nd and final home opener of the 2018 season. Standing by are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
With the beautiful Puget Sound just to our west, you get a look inside CenturyLink Field here in Seattle. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks. With Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. Charles, you look at this Seahawks team as they get ready here. They come in feeling good after back-to-back victories. Meanwhile, for the visitors here, the Cowboys, an early season tilt. And when it's an early season tilt, should be ready to roll.
Well, let's face it, the aches and pains haven't really set in yet. And both teams eyeing a really good start to get things going.
As of this morning, summer officially over. It's time for autumn football, and we're underway on EA Sports. This will be fielded at the 8. And a good effort on the return there gets them across the 30 to the 33-yard line.
Let's go!
So out come the Seahawks now for their first possession. They'll be led out by their 5'11 quarterback from Wisconsin by way of NC State, and that's Russell Wilson.
We're not even a quarter way into the season. He's already off to a pretty nice start. NFC Offensive Player of the Week in last week's game.
Yeah, week 2, he was electric. See what week 3 has in store. So they'll come up first and 10 now from the 33.
I got you.
Here's Ronald Jones, first carry for the USC man. 5 yards on the game's first play, second down. And here's the starting offensive unit for Seattle.
And they should be set up for a big game. They have one of the hottest offenses in the league. They're coming in riding a winning streak, but we've seen these quick turnaround games really wreak havoc with what you've done previously. Hopefully they simplified their offense, and they'll just let their playmakers go out and do what they do best.
They try to throw on second down, but this one is incomplete. Here are the starters defensively for the Cowboys. They played really well in the win last week over the Redskins.
Anytime you can hold a team to less than 10 points, your expectation of winning that game is sky high. In fact, you'd absolutely be stunned to come away with a loss.
Third play here, this opening drive as they're up against a 3rd and 5. From the shotgun, Wilson. That's into the hands of his tight end, Will Dissly. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 10 yards and a Seattle first down. They'll throw on first down with Wilson. And connecting here with DJ Shark. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. That'll pick up the first down for Seattle on a gain of 18. So from Cowboy territory now, here's first and 10 at the 34.
Watch safety creep. Watch safety creeping.
Wilson after the play fake to Carson. Flushed out right. And he rifles one incomplete. The intended receiver was DK Metcalf, but it's going to be second down. From the 34, they'll come to the line on second and 10.
Shift. Hey, alert. 36. Hey, let's go double count right here. Double count.
This is the Oklahoma State alum, Chris Carson. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave him with a 3rd down and 6 to go. On 3rd down, Wilson. Looks to throw, fires right side. And that's going to be incomplete. The coverage too good there. The contact popped the ball free, and it's 4th down.
That's a good job there creating the contact.
Oh, they get to the football. It's blocked. Now it's scooped up, and I think he's going to go. They're not going to get him. He's at the 30. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. As his guys are in for 6. As his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. Point after, right down the middle. And it's now a 7-0 game. Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. This one taken from the 7. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line.
Let's go.
The Seattle offense now set to come back out on the field. Last time they had a little bit of a special teams breakdown. That field goal was blocked.
Yeah, and everything has to be precise in the kicking game. Snap, hold.
And a big loss here as he's taken down.
I'm coming back. I'm coming back.
Well, so much for setting the tone of the drive offensively. Giving up a big sack that loses that kind of yardage, not a great start.
Now this one from about 2 counties over after the sack. They come up on a 2nd and very long. A 2nd down pass play there, but it's incomplete. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Throwing is Wilson. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. He's got him in. Complete. And all the way in. Touchdown, Seattle. DK Metcalf, 88 yards, as his guys are on the board here in this first quarter. And correct me if I'm wrong, that was just a simple fly route, wasn't it?
No, there's nothing to correct at all. You've got it down pat. And I just remember as a player, when I'd be in practice sessions, and I'd hear 9 from the receivers, that meant fly route, go, look out. That was the 9, and he just kept going all the way into the end zone for the touchdown.
And that'll carry over the back line of the end zone for a touchback. So here are the Cowboys now ready to go on offense for the first time. They'll be led out by the former Mississippi State product, the mobile quarterback, Dak Prescott.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. He's going to let this one go deep. And got his man complete. And he takes it down deep into enemy territory. A big play there on the catch and run. 75 yards. They've made goal line offense a priority on the practice field this week. This is exactly the situation they've been prepping for. Oh, how about this call down near the goal line? And that one covered beautifully. Their defenders stayed home, and they'll stop him behind the line. Back at the 2 now. Here's 2nd and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he pushes forward but comes up short of the goal line as he'll get a yard down to about the 1. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
And congratulations on their win last week, but they didn't get a whole lot of time to celebrate it on Sunday. They were right back to work on Monday, but you'll have to do things differently when you prepare for a Thursday night game. Because normally you'll take some time off. Here you get right back to work on the game plan mentally.
And this is caught for a Cowboy touchdown. A 1-yard touchdown reception. And the Cowboys have taken the lead. Well, it was 3rd and 1. I was expecting run, so much for that. They pass it, they score it.
That had the feel of the head coach telling the offensive coordinator, you've got 4 downs here. We're going to go for it on 4th down unless there's a disaster on 3rd. Go ahead and take a shot if you want to. And he gratefully accepted the opportunity and did exactly that. If they didn't get it there, that had the feel that they would come back and try it on 4th down. Well, you gave up the first touchdown of the game, but how about the response? Big-time return. Now it's their chance to try and put points on the board.
Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 at the 41-yard line. They'll start out on the ground with Carson. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 10 yards and a Seattle 1st down.
At this stage of the game, the run-pass numbers are a little bit out of whack because most of their yardage has come through the air. But in a sense, that just sets things up for big runs like that because the defense might be a little bit off balance. They pick up another first down with that run.
Here's Wilson. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Get ready. Get ready.
Here's Wilson to throw again. This will be caught by Brown.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. The slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
On first down, nothing opening up really on the running play. Give him maybe a yard, and it'll be second down. The numbers on the ground for Carson last week, 11 carries, 70 yards.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
On 2nd and 9, Wilson, pressure applied, and he's going to be taken down. They sack him back at the 33-yard line.
Well, nothing takes a start to have a good drive. Quite like a big loss on a sack, does it?
Now they're looking at a 3rd and long, and suddenly the momentum shifted to the other side of the football.
And old Mo is a very, very fickle man.
Now, meanwhile, a pass that should have been intercepted, but it winds up falling incomplete.
Not only was the call spot on, how about the execution of that defense right there? The zone was absolutely locked up tight. He was trying to force it in there on 3rd down.
But if there's a time to force it, he felt like he needed to make a play, right?
Yeah, exactly right. 3rd down, you got to try and find something. There's nothing available there for him.
So a good kick that time, and that might help to get the negative thoughts out of the mind from that earlier block.
Especially since this was not a chippy, so he had to get that one out kind of low. But his line does a nice job of protecting, and he's able to convert for 3.
Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Now, the first play of the drive there is incomplete. This is how the defense will line up for Seattle. They find themselves just a couple of spots outside of the top 10 defending the pass, number 12 in the league.
And since this is such a good unit of covering passes downfield, I think that last play is typical of what we might see. A lot of short passes, see if they can generate some run after the catch, but nothing doing on that one.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25.
No.
They'll run with Elliott. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on first down. Then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in an expected passing situation.
It'll be a nickel look here for the Seahawks on 3rd down.
Tight ends on the loose. Tight ends on the loose. Hey, 4 down.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And this effort will not get it done. He stopped well short of the first down at the 29.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. And now back onto the field, here comes the Cowboys defense. And let's take a peek at some of the defensive effort here that's helped them get this first half lead.
Yeah, I remember in school, we used to have a term for it, break on it. When you see the ball in the air, when you see a receiver make the cut, and you anticipate it, break on the football, get there, make a play. And we've seen a lot of that so far in this game.
Coverage has been excellent. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
Hey,
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. They'll run on first down. Carson, and very little daylight there. He'll get a couple up to the 44.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter games turn into bigger runs later.
It's a first down on a gain of 10. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Second quarter now from Seattle, and it is the Seahawks with the football here as they've got it with a 1st and 10. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Just a yard on the pickup there, and it'll bring up a 2nd and 9. On 2nd and 9, Wilson, and that is incomplete here. The Notre Dame man, Jalen Smith, able to get a hand in and knock it away. What a difference a week makes. Last week he hit on over 80% of his passes. This week he's down under 50%. What do you see as the difference?
Well, I think we're used to seeing a drop. If someone's over 80%, they're not going to hold that number, not in this league. But a drop under 50%, that just tells me that the defense has spent a lot of extra time on game films and came up with a really good plan to try and chip away at his timing. But give the defensive guys a little bit of credit. They didn't let the deep ball beat them on that play, did they?
No, the drag, that guy can be your safety valve. We saw it right there.
Yeah, and it picked up a first down for him, too.
Switch it, switch it, switch it. Come on, switch it.
On 1st and 10, it's Wilson. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up, 2nd and 10. Throwing again, Wilson. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off at the 17. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 16. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And not a whole lot to speak of there as they'll bring him down shy of the 20. Shaquille Griffin in on the stop defensively.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. Sacked by Yannick Ngakoue, the former Maryland Terp. And no matter what the situation, the O-line just hates that because they feel like they didn't protect little brother back there, right?
Man, that's just so difficult for them because just think about every single play. When you decide to throw the football, you're dealing with some of the best athletes on the planet. You talk about guys, if they weren't playing football, they'd be starring in the NBA at power forward. It's a really difficult task.
Call it a 3-yard gain, and that'll bring up 4th down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
A great return there of 22 yards. And out will come the offense as they take over. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. Of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part 2, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
From the 39, Wilson. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long one way out there, but it'll be third down. The Seahawks on third down. They've converted 3 out of 5 thus far. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Wilson, and he can't hang on to it. Nearly picked. He's known for his hands defensively, but instead it just brings up 4th down.
Well, nearly another interception there. That would have been 2 drives in a row with a pick. He's got to start taking care of the ball way better than what we're seeing.
Interestingly, that throw was probably worse than the one he threw the interception on last drive, but fell incomplete.
Let's go.
Ezekiel Elliott gets ready to go again here on offense as he shuffles onto the field. And he's had his chances in this game. He just hasn't been able to find any daylight so far.
Patience, patience, patience. And that's the hard part for a runner because they expect every run to be a big one for something to pop. So they have to sometimes go through the struggles before it happens for them later in the game. But you got to give credit to the rest of the team. They've worked around the fact that he hasn't had his normal big game.
Yeah, despite his struggles, still winning here in the second quarter. On second down, Elliott. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. It'll be a loss of a full 3 yards there, and it also brings up third down. The Cowboys on third down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd down and 12. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. Well, the 2 men come together, and it's incomplete. Excellent work defensively, brings up 4th down.
It's always a goal, and it's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. He steps into this one, and this is a rocket. This is brought in at the 21. A terrific return. 30 yards all in all. And the Seahawks will have great field position to start this drive. They take over on the short side of the field.
46 to Mike. That's right, baby. They don't want it. Check, 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 check. There. Check.
On first down, it's Carson. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 11 yards there and a first down for Seattle.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
Here's Carson. Jalen Smith, the Notre Dame man, in on the tackle.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Escaping the pressure right. He'll try and run it. The rushing numbers for Wilson, maybe down from earlier in his career, but he's still a threat to go, showing it there, picking up the first down.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, his first carry of the game right there, he had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. There's Wilson to throw. Forced out to his left. And now he's going to use his legs. The improv on the scramble there gets him 6, and it'll be second down.
Okay, he's not going to get the first down, but this is still a nice job of buying some time and then running to get to the sideline and get out of bounds and avoid the big hit.
Throwing there, but this pass is going to wind up incomplete. Throwing the football, he's not as sharp as he was last week when he was over 70%. Right now, he's under 50%.
Well, that comes from extra game film, extra time. You know those guys watched him all week, saw how precise he was, and constructed a defense to try and chip away at that, and thus far they've been successful.
He had the touchdown earlier. This one's going to get him a first down.
Here we go.
Now a first down carry by Jones. And a nice move will yield nothing as he's stopped behind the line. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman and have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. Being chased out left. It's a gain of 9 yards, and it'll be third down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids.
And he will go down. A Cowboys sack. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. And his kick is good. And the lead is down to 1 now at 14-13. So this time the protection holds up for him just fine, and he's able to bang it through.
I think their special teams coach got the point across. He gave him a pretty good earful after the block earlier, and this time there's no penetration, so they're able to pick up 3.
And a good return. He's across the 35-yard line, right around the 36. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. It's the second quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime.
He's not going to get me.
To throw again on second down. Prescott over the middle, complete. It's Sparks. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 45-yard line.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. A first down throw for Prescott. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And the Seahawks have picked it up, and they will take over at the 29-yard line. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. Likely time for just one final play, and then it'll be off to the locker room to talk about how they can erase this deficit.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people look at it and go, well, maybe you take a shot here. Maybe you get some momentum going into the half.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. So a very tight first half. We had to break in a one-point game. As we'll send you back over to Orlando with our EA Sports Halftime Report, here's Jonathan Coachman.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. And welcome in, everyone, to our Tiburon Studios here in Orlando. We'll take a minute and look ahead at what's to come this weekend in week number 3. Some great games coming up on Sunday, highlighted by a 1 o'clock matchup in Miami. A good test for the Dolphins as they get set to host the Philadelphia Eagles. Good games in the late afternoon as well, one being out in Santa Clara, where it'll be the 49ers taking on the Cleveland Browns. And one more to highlight, a good one on Sunday Night Football between the Kansas City Chiefs and the Indianapolis Colts. In the game you're watching, you've seen a strong first half out of Dak Prescott. His guys lead, though, by only a point. It's been a tight one. As for the start of the third quarter, we'll send it back to Brandon Gardner.
The Cowboys will get the football first here, and they have the lead as well as we are underway in quarter 3.
Free kick out of bounds. Kicking team.
And that drives coaches insane, doesn't it? When they see that happen, it just doesn't feel right, does it? Plus, you're giving up yardage.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last drive, obviously not what you're looking for. You've got the lead. You've got to protect the football.
So, in other words, someone got lucky.
Under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Shaquem Griffin, he was relentless there as he hits home for the sack. Man, he got in there so quickly, Charles. What could the offense have done to adjust and account for that?
But what you're hoping is that you figure out and you see and get a clue that maybe there's going to be some pressure coming at you, and you change the blocking schemes. Maybe you go to max protection. The biggest one is maybe you bring your running back in to try and keep you clean. But in that case, that didn't happen. Zero accountability, and a sack resulted. Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Has had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great...
But that's caught at the 25. And he goes down, but not before getting this inside the 25. A gain of 32 that time. They lulled them to sleep there, so to speak. That was all set up by the running game, wasn't it?
Another example of what all offensive coordinators tell us. When the running game's operating, it really opens up the playbook, and that's when they hit them with the play action. And you can see the defenders rushing towards the line of scrimmage, then scrambling back trying to cover. Couldn't get there in time.
Well scripted. They had the big running play, now the big passing play. Once again, they'll go from the 23-yard line on 2nd and 10. Prescott. That would complete Elliott. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Call it a pickup of 7. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. The 2nd down completion got him 7. Now here's 3rd and 3. Prescott yet again. And that's Elliott, complete. And stopped a few yards shy of the goal line at the 3. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. A cool little accomplishment for him passing the football. 25,000 yards. He just surpassed that for his career.
When he was a little guy in the backyard just throwing it around probably with his dad, he thought about playing in the NFL. He dreamed of it. But to put up these kind of numbers while doing so, that's got to be kind of cool for him. He'll enjoy the heck out of thinking about that when this one is over.
From back at the 4, here's 2nd and goal. Now Prescott. Rush coming, and he's taken down.
Second goal, last thing you need to do is get pushed backwards to take a sack. But he couldn't find anywhere to go with the football. Had to eat it and ended up on the ground.
This stadium once registered as the loudest roar ever recorded, and that is caught. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 9-yard touchdown grab. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. No surprise there. 3rd and goal down here. That's where they're going to look for their tight end.
Yeah, you want that big guy running his routes because it doesn't matter who they cover him with. If it's another big guy, he might use his bulk against him. If it's a shorter defender, might go over the top. Either way, you tend to find a little bit of a mismatch in that area.
The kickoff team on the field now as they will send this one away. This is taken just shy of the 10 here. And they're going to start this drive in pretty good shape as they get it up past the 30. Now we'll see what this Seahawks offense has in store with their first possession of the 2nd half. They're down in this game. A chance for the offense, though, to put something on the board, get some momentum here at halftime.
Try and get things kick-started for them. And you know at the half, they discussed how they were going to get that done. This is where scripting comes into play a lot of the time.
How many plays do you script coming out of the second?
Most of the time in the first half, you're scripting 12 to 16. I think in the second half, you're really scripting more like 8 to 10. Kind of a starter or an opener, whatever terminology they use. Just something to get you off to a quick start.
It'll be a loss of 1, and that'll bring up a 3rd and 11 situation. And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. From the gun, it's Wilson. He can run for it, and he will. The escapability in evidence there as that one good for 15 and a first.
How many times do we hear that third down may be the most important down in football, and there's no better example than what we just saw right there. Forced to scramble, knows where the first down marker is, dives for it, and gets it. What a big-time play, putting his body on the line to pick up a key first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete. So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They run it with Carson. 11 yards there, first down.
We got this.
Boy, he does it at a high level, doesn't he? Because when I watch him, I think of his vision. Straight ahead, peripheral. Also has that sense of where holes are going to be before they actually open. I think that helps set him apart from many of the other backs in the league.
Steps away to his left. And eventually taken down here. Great coverage downfield. Jalen Smith able to drop him for a loss of a couple.
No doubt that's a very good play defensively right there, because you've always got to be aware that he can take off and make a big play with his legs. How about the way they were able to contain him? That also tells me the coverage was excellent downfield.
Complete out to Samuel on the quick throw. That one good for the completion percentage, but no gain. It'll be third down. 7th play of this drive coming up, but a long way to go on third down. Now Wilson dancing to his left. And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
This has been a tough one for this offensive line. It appears almost like they've been on roller skates this entire game, the way they've been pushed around. 6 sacks given up in this one.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
So here are the Cowboys to take over. They've won 2 straight, and they lead this one as well as they come up on 1st and 10. So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. Blitz coming, and down he goes. Bobby Wagner, the former 2nd-rounder out of Utah State, with a sack.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now this one to his tight end out on the right side. And he'll be about a full yard shy of the 20 at the 19-yard line. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a third down. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Prescott from the gun. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Sparks. And he'll be corralled well upfield right around the 40-yard line. Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. A first down carry by Elliott. And the second wave of tacklers is going to get him as they stop him behind the line. The loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
On third down, it's Prescott. Going to throw right side here, complete. Good defense holds him to only a yard, and it'll be 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a first down.
And Seattle now ready to march out of the field. They punted last time they had it. What steps, Charles, you think they have to take to make sure they don't do that again?
Well, let's just go to the football 101, the trade expression 101. Win first down. Make 5, 6, 7 yards on first down and make it a 2nd and 3, 2nd and manageable. Keep accumulating first downs that way. Keep moving the football. You don't want to get behind the sticks because then the defense has the advantage.
Now this one over the middle into the hands of his tight end, complete. And he'll go down, and that will do it for the third quarter of action. Back now in Seattle, Washington. It's the Seahawks with possession of the football, but they do trail here to begin quarter number 4. And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. He was trying to get it to A.J. Brown that time, and that'll bring up second down. Here's 2nd and 10 now from the 29. Now it's Wilson. And that is incomplete. A lot of force bearing down on him there. He could not hang on. It's third down. Big play coming up. Here's 3rd and 10.
I would expect to see some pressure here.
And the blitz does come. He's going to fire one deep over the... Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
That's just flat out a beautiful throw right there.
It was a rope. That's maybe the speed you would see on a slant, but he threw that downfield with that kind of pace.
Now, if he throws that one with any type of arc, puts a little air under it, that play doesn't happen. He had to fire it in there, and he did exactly that.
And he is out of bounds inside the 30. He'll wind up getting 9 after tucking it and running, so it'll leave him with 2nd and a yard.
Here we go.
On 2nd down, it's Jones. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And that'll bring up a 3rd down. From the shotgun, Wilson. Eluding the pressure right. This into the hands of his running back, Ronald Jones. And he's out of bounds. Almost gets to the 10. A well-executed 22-yard gain.
Sometimes it's designed, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave the pocket and move and make something happen. And on that play, he's able to get on the run and was still accurate throwing the football.
Buying time. Oh, no, he lost the football. But I believe a Seahawk was able to get a handle on this, so this will remain Seattle ball.
On plays like this, when the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is a quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Not a big window to throw. Coverage wasn't too bad there.
Yeah, they had him under wraps pretty well, but somehow able to muscle his way open and catch the ball.
And he's got it. Caught in the end zone for the Seahawk touchdown. Will Dissly, his 2nd touchdown on the season, as they now sit just a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up in the 4th quarter. And partner, they found a gap there on the post pattern in the middle of the end zone.
And ordinarily, that's a tough spot to find because there's usually coverage to take away that portion of the field. But they found a gap, and they exploited it.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. And the failure to convert and tie the game. Now the pressure shifts back to the defense.
But I think it was the right play. I think it was the right call to try and tie the game there. Kick an extra point, you're still down 1. What's the sense? I like what they did.
And he'll be stopped just shy of the 25 with a penalty marker down. Here's the call.
Face mask. Defense.
Boy, tight game like this, 4th quarter, personal foul penalties, a no-no.
Yeah, we know the emotions are running high. The tensions are the same. Who can control them best could ultimately win it.
And now it's 1st and 10, a big mistake, especially when you factor in the personal foul yardage. They go over the middle, and it's complete to start the drive. 4 yards on the pickup, and that'll make this a 2nd down. 4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. Now Prescott. Looking left side, and he's got a man. It's Sparks. 16 yards, a 1st down. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
Looking deep downfield. And look at this. They get the turnover they needed. It's intercepted. Trey Flowers picks it. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. A critical error there in a tight game in the fourth.
All you talk about is taking care of the football, and especially with a lead here in the fourth quarter. Turning it over, now the door is open for the opposition.
Just in general, when you're passing in the fourth quarter with a lead, no matter at what point, you got to be super careful.
Got to be careful, and sometimes you can be so careful that you end up running yourself into an error.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. That one good for 14 and a Seahawk first.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters, no reason to lighten up now. Both teams working on short rest, but this has been one of the better Thursday night games we've seen as they come up here on 1st and 10. Now here's a pass on first down that's knocked away and incomplete.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Now a 3rd down throw, but it misses the target. Incomplete. A 4th and very long coming up. You're out of field goal range. I don't know that you can go for this.
Well, I know that you want to, right? You know that they want to say, hey, let's go for this. We've got the perfect play drawn up. Let's do it. But I wouldn't go for it either. I agree with you totally. You're only down 1 score. Punt it. Let your defense pick you up.
And now Dallas gets set to take the field. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a 1-score game. And you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
One of the bigger plays in the game thus far, and the crowd getting into it as we come up on a big 3rd down. Now he's going to go up top over the middle. And that's caught inside the 30. A big play here for Dallas. 46 yards. So now then, the big play has them all the way inside the 30 now, 1st and 10. And again, it's Prescott. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down.
I know at times people think we use it too often, but you've got to be able to throw guys open. And when you read zone, you've got to stick it in there before your receiver gets to the next guy in the zone. Otherwise, you bring him into the play.
And that's precisely what allowed that defense to disrupt the pass.
Now, obviously, that's some good work there defensively, being able to stop them and bring up a key 3rd down. But if you're on the offensive side of the ball, there's an opportunity, because I know what defensive guys are thinking right now. Just stop them, get to the ball. That means it might not be sound defensively. There could be some opportunities.
And you said key 3rd down. Highlight that word. Put it in bold. Here we go. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, 4th quarter. Maybe you do start to watch as the arm there, the leg's still there. This has been a tough game. So they get the 3, but you wonder now, is that going to be enough?
Excellent question, because when I look at the smiles on that side of the field, they're a little tight, aren't they? If they had scored a touchdown there, those would be big half-moon grins right now because they'd feel a whole lot better about their position.
And a touchdown in the other direction, all of a sudden they're down. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. And a tight game after punting last time. See if they can get something going on this drive.
As they head to the field now, with the game this close, you got to feel there's a sense of urgency.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to record his 5th sack of the season. Well, going into the final play of this game, get it done. However, we were treated to really a spectacular affair.
Even though they didn't finish it off, you're exactly right. They took us down to the last play. We're still, you're wondering, could it happen? Possibly, even though we both knew it was a long